Welcome to part 3 of our live training session with our turbocharged Nissan 370z running on Uprev tuning software. Now in the last video, we completed the calibration process for idle and part throttle tuning. Now we're going to turn our attention into doing our full throttle tuning off of our wastegate spring. So we're going to make sure that we have all of our knock control set up so that the knock strength is going to be valid, and we can use that in guiding us and making our spark timing changes. Also learning how to work with an air fuel air calculated channel in our Megalog viewer so it can show us what kind of changes we need to make back into our fuel compensation table. There's a lot of things to cover, so without further wait, let's jump into our video so we can check this all out. Welcome back to our live training session here with our turbocharged Nissan 370z. The last video we got our engine fired up and running. We have it mapped out pretty well at idle and part throttle conditions. Now we're ready to turn our attention into going into full throttle, so going into boost. We'll find out what kind of power this makes in this video. It's going to have a single turbo setup here, dual wastegates. Wastegate springs about 6-7 pounds of boost, so we'll see how far we can turn up the boost. We have a Grady ProFect boost controller here, an external boost controller that's going to allow us to go higher than that. The biggest limitation here is going to be the mass airflow sensors, which are stock in a 3-inch tube, or both of them have the 3-inch charge pipes going into the throttle bodies. It's going to be a limitation. We're going to find that probably won't allow us to register flow much past 525, 550 horsepower. So we're going to see how far we can push things in this video. Definitely engine can handle a lot more. The fuel system has more than capable of being able to provide enough fuel flow for a lot of power, but the biggest limitation factor again is the mass airflow sensors. They're going to have to be upgraded at some point. They'll be able to go beyond what we're finding here. This car was originally built to run on ethanol, but it's on pump gas right now, just kind of get things going and get things sorted out. So let's turn our attention now, and a couple key things I want to talk about in the beginning of the video here, and then we'll fire it up, and then we'll look at some important details with the base fuel schedule to make sure that we have things set up properly so that when we do our first pull, everything's going to be safe. We're not going to find that we have a surprise with too much ignition timing or too lean of an air-fuel mixture. So let's go in here and talk about some details. First thing I want to talk about is our Spar timing. So if we actually go here to the bottom of our window, we're going to go down here into our ARC features and into our simplified timing, and we're going to move into our map 1. This is our timing table. Now we assumed, which we're going to check right now, we assumed that we would be under full throttle at least 5 to 6 milliseconds, which is our injector pulse width, in the base fuel schedule. We find that the table here is based on that pulse width opening. It is not traditional load that you would find in most ECUs. Now this actually makes sense using base fuel schedule because as your load goes up, your fuel demands go up and your injector pulse width will go up. So it's actually not that odd of a load factor that you would have in your Spar timing table. Now again, I kind of made this assumption that 6 milliseconds and higher in my base fuel schedule, or the fuel delivery through the injectors, we're going to be in boost. I've zeroed the table out here, all in boost, so that I can go and focus on tuning my fuel first. I want to make sure that my fuel is dialed in and that I don't have any surprises when I'm going in for the first pull or two in boost. I want to make sure that I have the fuel being at a dialed in level. Now we've targeted 11.4. We're going to have to go and adjust our mixture using the fuel compensation table to get things back in line. But this is going to be the first important thing here. So we have really low Spar timing to be able to do our fuel tuning first, then come back in here, dial in our Spar tuning, and we can kind of figure out how everything's going to go here. And we can use our knock strength to guide us in how much timing we can run, whether we have a chassis dyno or not. Again, we're going to explore all that here in the video. But the transitional zone here, so I'm going to be assuming in this car anywhere from 0 to roughly 4, so this range here, this is where we're going to spend our time part throttle cruise area. And then we're going to be transitioning here between 4 and 6. This is just a guess. We're going to test this and figure this out. So this is super important that we have our base fuel schedule indexed properly for this table. The next kind of flip side of this, if we go up to our fuel area here and we move into our map slot 1 and we look at our fuel target, this specifies what we want the target air fuel to be at, and this is what's going to command or demand where the air fuel mixture should be. Now this is part of the fuel calculations. Our job is to make sure that when we're in boost and when we're at these base fuel schedules here, these higher base fuel schedules, that we're actually hitting this target mixture here in the table. Now, just like our Spar timing where it was super critical that we transition from higher Spar timing to really low Spar time to get things going, we have to do the same thing in our base fuel schedule here for the target air fuel. So I'm assuming that 4 milliseconds and below here, so from 28 to 5200, this is where we're going to spend all of our time part throttle, idle area, we want to be at stoichiometric or 14.7:1. Once we start to transition into positive pressure and we have enough load, we want to move from this leaner mixture into a richer mixture, and that's where we're going to find the base fuel. Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.